Hey everybody, Chris Grest here. So today we're going to take a look at something I just got in from Brownells. So let's get at it. Hey folks, so what I have here is a long box. So this is a long rifle. This is something that I've been thinking about getting for quite a while. So some of y'all I've kind of talked with about maybe building something like this or whatever. So if we turn the box around, this is actually a 20-inch Colt in 5.56. So it just comes in a plain old cardboard box. Comes with a package here, comes with a standard capacity magazine, instruction book. It does come with a lock as well. So go ahead and throw that stuff over to the side. As far as the rifle itself, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the box out the way. Comes in this plastic bag. Now I have already had this out of there when I picked it up at my local FFL. It does come with a chamber flag. It is safe and unloaded and clear. And here you can see it's got the A2 buttstock on there with the trap door on the back. It has your ambidextrous safety there with only the fire and the safe engraved on there. It also has just a standard trigger, standard A2 grip. It is marked up here with a forging mark. It does have, I guess this is supposed to be cage code for the upper receiver, so 13629. It has a standard round A2 handguard, and then out here towards the muzzle end, and this thing is really just oiled up considerably. Got oil just kind of oozing out of everything. Front sight post, one of the complaints about these rifles that I've heard or read about is that they are no longer F-marked like the ones that they send to the military. And then out here on the barrel, and I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, it is C-marked, and it's MP tested, and it's marked 5.56 NATO 1-7 twist. So this is a chrome lined barrel, and it's got your standard A2 flash hider out here on the end. So I'm not a Colt aficionado. You know, I know a little bit about what I have read from other folks. This is my first Colt AR-15. Sadly, it waited a long time to get one. I do have other 20 inches. I have two, well, my oldest daughter owns one of them, but two Rock River Armory National Match 20-inch. Those are heavy rifles. If you've ever shot one of those, they have a heavy barrel. So this is exactly or more or less what the military would be issued. Quick history lesson on Colt. CZ bought out Colt a couple years back, so this is post CZ operations as far as the Colt rifles, and so some of the stuff has changed. One of the big items that folks kind of complain about somewhat is on the markings. They used to be roll marked, and now they're laser etched in there, which I don't really care either way. So here you can see it's got the Colt logo on there, and then it's marked AR-15A4. I guess some of these initially were marked carbine, which would have been frustrating. And then of course it's got serial numbers, starts with a CAR, which is also supposed to be, I don't know, again, if there's any of you Colt collectors out there and you want to chime in, feel free. It does also have a QR code kind of in the lower. Of course, it's Colt Defense, Hartford, Connecticut, USA. Another thing that I had some folks kind of complain about some of these civilian issued rifles was that the safety stops were ground off on some older ones, and they're now present here, so that's kind of a good thing. It does come with a Colt carry handle. It's also marked up here as well. So the carry handle actually is going to be coming off of this rifle. So just a little bit about my plans on this thing. My plan is to kind of do a clone of sorts of an M16A4 using the Knights Armament M5 RAS handguard. Everything else I'm pretty much going to keep the same, except for I'm going to remove the carry handle. I'm going to put a MATEC backup sight on here. I have a 4x32 ACOG that's sitting there, needs a home, so this is a perfect home for that. The ACOG is an FDE. It's actually one of their anniversary editions, so I have some thoughts of alumahiding this into FDE with kind of maybe a battle-worn look. I'm back and forth on it because once I go through the process of doing that, it'll be very hard to return this back to the original status. But yeah, very nice rifle at first glance. I mean, it's just your standard military, 20-inch AR. So far, I'm happy with what I see. Like I said, it's nothing fancy. I did get this for a very good price over at Brownells. So if you're looking for something like this, definitely check them out. So let me go ahead and I'll show you guys some up close of the bolt carrier. So as far as the bolt carrier, I guess these, actually there it is. So looks like it is C stamped on here. So there were some complaints that these weren't marked at all, as far as they used to be C marked and then they weren't. I've been doing a ton of reading on this thing, so but it looks like this one here actually is C marked, so that's kind of nice to see. As far as the bolt itself, it is marked MPC on there, and it does have a white mark there as well, and you can see that it has definitely been test fired. Lots and lots of oil on this thing, guys. Charging handle is just a regular old standard charging handle, nothing fancy. I do not see any markings or anything on that. Not really sure what markings are supposed to be here on a Colt, but I guess the idea is that Colt's supposed to mark a lot of their stuff. But over the past few years, especially since CZ took over, things have changed a little bit. So one of the other things that people complain about Colts is still there, is that this webbing back here behind the trigger hammer assembly. If you have this material here, of course you cannot add any sort of fun trigger, that is. So of course the machinist could get rid of that if you have the legalities in line. As far as the trigger itself, this is going to be swapped out with a Geisley SSA trigger. I figured that was the most appropriate one to put in here, since it is a trigger that is used for some military contracts. And so yeah, so ACOG, MATEC rear sight, Geisley SSA, and then your Knights Armament RAS. The only other thing that I'm kind of trying to figure out is sling attachment. I know for the slings that Spectre Gear makes a sling for it. They also make a buttstock mag carrier back here, which I may pick up one of those as well. We'll probably do a tan sling setup just to throw some contrast on there. Like I said, I'm still undecided if I'm going to go through the process of doing a alumahide finish on this, or maybe I end up having it Cerakoted, or maybe I just don't do anything. My kind of problem is the ACOG I have is in FDE. So unless I want to spend the money on another ACOG, the ACOG I have is currently sitting there. So for that reason alone, I'd like to give it a home, and I think this would be a perfect home for it. Let me know what you think about that. If you had a 20-inch AR and you were wanting to do an M16A4 clone per se, which route would you go in my situation? Having the 4x32 ACOG that is already in tan, would you go through painting one of these rifles? I mean, collectability in the long term, I'm not so worried about that. It's a tool, so I'm okay with that. I just don't know, as far as it being a clone. I've looked for lots of pictures, and I don't see a ton of the M16A4s that have any sort of FDE paint on them or anything like that. The M4s, however, you see a lot of those in some of the other firearms, but the M16A4, I've just struggled to find anything like that. So let me know your thoughts below. But anyways, this is just a first look at this particular rifle. Really happy with it. I hope to start getting this project on the roll here real soon. So just gonna need some thoughts from you guys on what you think I should do. But yeah, first Colt rifle, really happy so far. Hopefully it works as good as it looks at the range. So I appreciate everybody taking a look at today's video on this 20-inch Colt AR-15 that I just got in for Brownells. If you're looking for something like this or other firearms, accessories, gunsmithing tools, etc., definitely check out my friends over at Brownells. Use code BOP10. It'll save you a little bit of money off of that. You know, I do got some plans for this. My plans, of course, are an M16A4. Any comments to that effect or advice or otherwise, please put those down below. And I appreciate everybody watching and subscribing, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Y'all take it easy.